So let's talk about the Minnesota Epstein. Specifically, the man's name is Tony Lazzaro. He is the sex trafficker contact post-Epstein who develops a big tent Republican super PAC, and he starts flying girls from Florida to Minnesota to sex traffic. What's interesting about this guy is his connection to so many things. This is Trump. This is Tony Lazzaro's Twitter page. Now, this was his post about the truth about the corrupt filings that was dealing with him about being indicted and then convicted for sex trafficking. He was a major Trump supporter. Not just a major Trump supporter. This man wasn't just a major Trump supporter. He went a little bit further than that. He ran Big Tent Republicans. He ran his own website, right? This is the truth about him. He was very much against Tony Lazzaro is not a sex trafficker, nor should he have ever been indicted for federal sex trafficking charges due to an oversized, politically motivated prosecution. He has been locked up for over 18 months. So this is him asking basically for the pardon, that sort of thing. This is Tony Lazzaro with his picture with Donald Trump. This is it with Vice President Pence. There will be other Republicans that he was standing next to. And the reason why is that he was very much against Omar. He came up with this idea that she married her brother. That's what this gigantic thing that he continuously pushed, DNA tests, all this stuff, right? But what really gets, that are you still covering up the fact that Omar is married to her brother? This is like his big thing. This is where he claims that why he's in trouble is because he, found this theory in which Omar was married to her brother. And why he claimed that, why this happened. Now, the honest truth is that he becomes convicted. You can look up at the end of this video and in the comments section about what he did. What Tony Lazzaro did when it started back in Florida. But ultimately, what he runs is the Big Tent Republican PAC. The Big Tent Republican PAC, its main focus was not in 21, but in 2019 and 20. This is during the 2020 campaign. This is, of course, is a convicted sex trafficker who is basically saying, whose FEC filings is that he raised $71,251.04. Total contributions, $38,565. He's not totally a millionaire as a sex trafficker, but he's very well doing his sex trafficking. According to Open Secrets, of the monies that they were donated to fund political candidates, at least those that Open Secrets tracked, out of the $19,300 that it gave to political candidates, all of it to Republicans. And these are them. Kendall Quartz, Carlton Medico, yeah. So they're all basically Republicans that he has supported. Of course, he is a Big Tent Republicans. But the big issue that with me that has always came when it came to this specific man is where all of this was coming from, and what you're going to hear about in the next portions of this video is Florida and the girl that he hired to get girls again in Florida to come to Minnesota to be trafficked. So let's hear that.
A 19-year-old woman in a Florida jail tonight on sex trafficking charges linked to an investigation involving Minnesota Republican strategist Tony Lazzaro. Gisela Castro Medina was arrested on Thursday. Good evening, I'm Karen Scullen. That's our top story tonight as we continue to follow the developments and fallout of the federal investigation. Medina is reportedly facing 6 counts of sex trafficking minors. Fox 9's Mary McGuire joins us to explain more about this 19-year-old woman who the feds have linked to Lazzaro. Mary?
Well, Karen, we knew there was another unnamed co-defendant in the federal indictment against Lazzaro, and today we learned that that person is reportedly a teenage girl who's a student at a local university.
Taken into custody as a fugitive and under the influence of alcohol at a hospital in the Florida Panhandle, 19-year-old Gisela Castro Medina is now behind bars.
He was a powerful GOP donor and political operative, and now he'll be spending 21 years in prison. Anton Lazzaro was sentenced today for sex trafficking minors after he was found guilty of those crimes in March. Fox 9's Karen Scullen now with what happened in court and how he got to this point. Karen?
32-year-old Anton Tony Lazzaro will be 51 years old when he gets out of federal prison. From there, it's 5 years on supervised release.
Anton Tony Lazzaro was becoming a big GOP donor and political activist in Minneapolis, but now he's heading to prison. Prosecutors say Lazzaro targeted young girls and gave the 15 and 16-year-olds cash and gifts, and in exchange, the girls would Uber to his upscale condo for sex. Today, federal prosecutors said Anton Lazzaro was a predator who hid in plain sight. He was a sex trafficker who camouflaged his true nature with his wealth and privilege. The case started back in August of 2021 when Lazzaro was arrested, leading to a shakeup in the GOP, including the resignation of party chair Jennifer Carnahan.
So Anthony Tony Lazzaro runs the Super PAC. He is the coordinator for the youth outreach for Donald Trump, as you can say. He's after Omar and all these other people, right? And you have all of these Republicans that you see around me are all the different Republicans who took pictures of Tony Lazzaro as he was coordinating the youth outreach for the Republican Party and running his Super PAC. But a year before he goes to jail and is found guilty for sex trafficking, Madison Cawthorn comes out and talks about the orgies. Now, this is going to be reinforced by other Republican operatives, not elected officials, who are saying that, yes, that these things are taking place. Now, again, Donald Trump has this 10-year plus connection to Epstein. Likely, as I've said, is that he probably developed a sexual addiction to underage children. And then Tony Lazzaro, who realizes this, who accepts it and doesn't fight it and realizes that his number one client will be the billionaire Donald Trump, and the billionaire Donald Trump will plug him back into all of these other people who probably likely developed the sexual addiction of having sex with underage children because of their relationship with Epstein. So this is what's going on. Tony Lazzaro steps into this, and then Madison Cawthorn, a year before he goes to prison, will say this, along with what other Republicans will say, to state that what he is saying is not exactly a lie. Thank you.
The sexual perversion that goes on in Washington, I mean, being kind of a young guy in Washington, with the average age is probably 60 or 70, and I look at all these people, a lot of them that I've looked up to through my life. I've always paid attention to politics, guys that, then all of a sudden you get invited to, like, well, hey, we're going to have kind of a sexual get-together at one of our homes. You should come. And I'm like, what did you just ask me to come to? Yeah. And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy. Yeah. Or the fact that, there's some of the people that are leading on the movement to try and remove, addiction in our country. And then you watch them do, a key bump of cocaine right in front of you.
I can tell you firsthand that these parties happen. I can tell you that they continue to happen. I can tell you that Madison Cawthorn told me yesterday that he had not retracted what he said.
Ridiculous. I've been invited to these things. I haven't gone to them because I don't want to be, you know, whatever, blackmailed, or I'm not into that. I'm, you know, happy. But I mean, I've been invited not just to those. I've been invited to the really weird stuff, not with kids. And of course, well, where's the crack pipes? Where's the whores? Where's the, sorry. I mean, there was a photo I sent my wife of her naked. Okay, they got that.